Hello everyone. So in our last video we have completed the Linux basic troubleshooting commands. Now we will move ahead with the Linux advanced troubleshooting commands. Now we are going to see one step ahead. The general people don't know about these commands and what is the output when you are going to use such commands. Okay, without delay let's get started. First, in the Linux advanced troubleshooting commands we have the system resource troubleshooting. Okay, so we have already seen the top command, right? Display the real time information about the CPU, memory and the process uses. Again, I'll just show you if someone is watching this video directly. If you type the top command, we are getting a lot of information. The main point that we have to talk about is the percentage of CPU, percentage of memory with respect to which process is holding how much percentage of the resources, and which is the command that executed that process. Along with that, you also have the percentage CPU information over here, percentage memory of information over here, how many process you have, how many stopped and how many sleeping, zombie process, average load, everything you can see over here. We have already discussed in detail in one of our last videos. You can also go and check. And now we'll see to the next command. Next command is htop command, which also I have stated it is the enhanced version of the top command with an interactive and user friendly interface. That's it. Now next command is vmstat command. Htop command I already explained it in our last video. Like when we were talking about, I'll tell you, when we were talking about, okay, when we are talking about viewing and managing process, which is a lecture 3 or 4, then you can see we have explained in detail about the top and stop command. Now it is not like useful to repeat it again and again. Now we will go to the next one, which is vmstat command. Vmstat command help you to monitor the system performance, including CPU, memory and IO statistics. Now what it means, I just quit it from this window. Okay, clear the screen. I'll type vmstat, hit enter. Here you can see it is providing you the process R and B. Okay, they are also providing you the memory information, swap, input output, system and percentage of CPU. So they are talking about the memory information from here to here. So total you have this much of KB of memory is free, this much is for the buffer, and this much for the cache memory. Okay, there is no swipe in and swipe out things are happening. There is no input output process is also running, that we can see. BI is 29, BO is 58, right? Means the information coming from the disk to the memory and memory to the disk, all those commands. Okay, talking about the system, that is the in and SCS. Okay, and about the CPU utilization, that is the US, SY, ID. US means user, like if there is any process or holding the CPU by the user process, if there is any process holding the CPU and it was executed by the system, that is the SY. What is the ideal waiting time, still process, all those things informations are here, right? Now if you have any doubt about the vmstat command, I'll always recommend you to open the vmstat command, hit enter, and you will get a lot of information about that, right? So here you can see vmstat report information about that. All those other information you can easily get it over here, right? vmstat reports information about the processes, memory, paging, block, input output, trap, disk, CPU activity. So these are very common information. You always check it out when there is anything related to the virtual memory concept, any issue with the virtual memory, you can easily refer to the vmstat command to provide the information or to troubleshoot the scenarios, right? I hope this is clear. I will provide the detail about all those things in the resource sections, right? Basically there is a R, which stands for the processes waiting for the runtime, that is it is in the queue. B, process in uninterruptible sleep, usually input output wait. Okay, there is some swapping memory information. I hope it is clear, right? There is a swap D and free. Swap D basically amount of virtual memory used. Okay, free amount of ideal memory. Buff, which is a memory used as a buffer, and cache, you all know what is the cache, right? SI is amount of memory swapped in from disk, and SO means amount of memory swapped out of disk, right? These are the SI and SO. BI stands for block received from a block device, and BO block sent to the block device, right? System talking about in and CS. number of interrupt per second, and CS stands for number of contact switches per second. When you are understanding more about the memory, then you will get to know about these, right? Now it comes to the CPU. US stands for time spent in user mode, time spent into the system mode, that is the US. Okay, sorry, US and SY. Time spent ideally, 92% of the system are like idle. Waiting time, waiting for the input output, estimates time stolen from the virtual memory. So these are the information generally you must know about this vmstat command. Okay, now next command that we have is iostat command. Provide detailed statistics on CPU and disk input output performance. Okay, we'll write iostat command. Okay, iostat command, you can also see average CPU device, average CPU, you can see percentage of user that you are using the CPU is 0.4% only, percentage of nice value 0.04%, percentage system basically using the CPU is 0.20%, input output weight 0.08%, still value 7.52, and the ideal means your CPU becomes idle is almost 90% time CPU becomes idle. Okay, so here you can see again percentage of user, right? It becomes CPU time spent on the user processes. CPU, or sorry, percentage of nice time spent on user processes with a positive nice value. Lower value means lower priority means high value. That's it. Now percentage of system time spent on the kernel process, percentage of IO wait. This time the CPU is ideal waiting for input output to complete. Then percentage of still value. This means time is stolen by other virtual machines. And percentage of idle, that we have seen CPU is completely idle, almost for the more than 90%. Right? Now you can also see the device section. So TPS, right? Transaction per second. That means input output request per second. KB read per second. Like kilobyte read per second from the device. KB written, same thing for the write operation. KB, this is for the descending, I don't know what it is. Okay, KB read, total kilobyte read, total kilobyte written, all those informations are there. So it is related to the disk, and above information related to the CPU. The same thing that we are talking about, disk input output performance and the CPU statistics, we are going to get with the iostat command. Now free -h command, that will display the system memory usage in human readable format. We have already seen when we type free-h, what we get, we will get the memory information. We have almost 494, 449 memory, 179 is used, 385 is free, rest is into the buffer. So total we have 613 MB we have in the memory. Uptime, so system uptime, load average, and the logged in user. So we have also seen in the last video. So if you type uptime, we have seen how many users are there, what is the load average in for 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes, and how long our system is up and running. So this is the uptime. So I hope these system resource troubleshooting commands you will get to know with these commands. See you into the next video when we are talking about disk and file management troubleshooting. See you into the next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching.